10 reasons why you should run your own full Bitcoin node. Number 1. Don't trust, verify. The fact that you run your own full Bitcoin node means that you verify that you're receiving real Bitcoins as opposed to a fraudulent transaction. Number 2. A full node gives you better privacy. When you run your own full node, you are in control of all of your financial data. But when you use somebody else's full node, which is the default setting on a mobile phone or app or something which does not connect to your own full node, you are transmitting information about your IP address and about your public key to the party that's providing the service of the full node. You don't want someone else to know how much money you have, which addresses you generate from your wallet, and which future addresses you're going to be using, which is why you should run your own full node and manage this data by yourself. Number 3, a Bitcoin full node contributes to Bitcoin decentralization. Maybe that your own full node does not make much of a difference today because there are tens of thousands of nodes worldwide, but let's say that one country bans Bitcoin and it's useful for a copy of the Bitcoin blockchain to exist somewhere else in the world so that you can download it or someone else can download it, and this way the entire history of transactions can be stored somewhere out there and the network can continue to prosper. Number 4, a Bitcoin full node keeps its own mempool. This is very important for people who like to send small fee transactions, because if, let's say that you send a transaction with the smallest fee possible and the base fee for the next 2 weeks is higher than that, which means that your transaction is not going to be included in a block. If you don't use your own full node and use somebody else's, it's likely that your transaction might get dropped from the mempool and your transaction never happens. But if you use your own full node, you can broadcast that transaction for as long as it takes for a miner to pick it up. So if you are cheap and you only want to send a very small fee transaction, you can wait months without any consequences just because you're running your own full node. Number 5, full sovereignty. This means that you get lots of features with your own full node. You can connect your hardware wallet with PSBT. And once you download Bitcoin Core, you're going to discover lots of ways in which you can manage your Bitcoin from command line with lots of advanced features like locking your coins and stuff like that. You can do whatever you want because you are in control and nobody else can tell you what you can and what you cannot do with your Bitcoin as long as you respect the basic consensus rules. Number 6, speaking of rules, Bitcoin is about having your own node and your own rules. What does this mean? It means that, let's say that you don't like a Bitcoin upgrade like Taproot, like SegWit, as long as you still agree that there will only be 21 million coins and the schedule for mining is this, in which for now in this epoch, there are mining rewards of 6.25 Bitcoin, and you agree what a valid transaction is, and you agree with all of these basic rules, you can still be on the network. You can basically write your own client software for a full node, and as long as you respect these rules, you're good to go. But if you don't like something that's newer, and maybe you disagree with it from a technical or ideological perspective, you can do that and still use Bitcoin. But this is because your full node allows you to set your own rules. Number 7, full nodes are secure. By validating everything and keeping everything in your computer and also using a computer that you don't usually use for internet surfing or for gaming and stuff like that, you get a very good level of security. A lot of OGs don't use hardware wallets but only use a full node that uses an encrypted wallet with a passphrase, and that's pretty much it. And if you want to do that, it's also an option, and it's something that gets unlocked and something with which you get empowered once you run your own full node. Number 8, full nodes are educational. Here's something that you might not have thought of, but once you run your own full node, you'll learn a lot about how Bitcoin works. There are lots of details, there are lots of minutiae that you may not consider until you realize, okay, you have synced the entire history of the blockchain. And now you see how when you receive a transaction, you receive information instantly about it being broadcast. And when you send out a transaction, you see how it's being broadcast for the longest time until a miner picks it up. And you see all of the advanced features and all of the options. And this is the way that Satoshi wanted you to use Bitcoin. So you better understand it, you better think about it, because the full node finally gives you that perspective that you should be having on Bitcoin, because full nodes are educational. Reason number 9, your full node offers financial inclusion to the world. Let's say that maybe you are not a malevolent actor, you're not blockchain analysis. You offer a service to the rest of the world that may connect to your node and may broadcast and receive transactions using the relaying system within your node. You're offering something to the third world or to people who cannot afford to get a full node or are on the run and cannot possibly have anything more than a mobile phone with them. And this is very important. You're providing infrastructure to the network, and you are a first-class citizen of the network that enables others to leech onto this sovereignty. So if you're a nice actor and you don't collect data and you don't care about who connects your node and you don't filter them, you don't block and blah, 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 you are a Bitcoin hero with your full node. And reason number 10, you preserve Bitcoin's censorship resistance by running your own full node. This is a big deal. You may not think about it right now, but there are people out there who don't like certain types of transactions. They might say, oh, ordinal inscriptions are evil, so I'm going to run this piece of software on my node, which enables me to effectively not validate them and not store them on my node. Oh, some people don't like SegWit, some people don't like Taproot for whatever reason. And by enabling these rules and being inclusive, if you want to be inclusive, because that's entirely your choice, you're providing a service to the rest of the world and you're making Bitcoin a lot harder to censor. And you're setting a precedent, you're providing an example, you are being a Bitcoin hero who runs his own full node, is a full-time first-class citizen, and helps others in their journey to become financially sovereign. These were the top 10 reasons to run your own full node.